Assalamualaikum dear students of 12th class. Hope you are fine. As you know, we are reading a lesson from the text Flamingo titled Deep Water, written by William Douglas. In today's lesson, we'll be discussing from last but one para, page 25. Now let's start. With that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. I landed in a sitting position, swallowed water, and went at once to the bottom. I was frightened, but not yet frightened out of my wits. On the way down, I planned when my feet hit the bottom, I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. Now there are some difficult words. Now first word is, in this para there are some difficult words. Let me tell you the meaning of these words. Tossed means three. Tossed means threw. Tossed means threw. Wits means intelligence. Wits means intelligence. In this para, the writer says that the boy picked William and threw him into the deep end of the swimming pool. William landed on the surface of the pool in the same position as he had been sitting in. His mouth was open, and as he did not know swimming, he swallowed water as he sank into the pool. He was frightened, but he used his intelligence, he used his wits, and on his way down the pool, planned to push himself up. When he reached the bottom, he thought that he would make a big jump to the surface, lie on his back, and swim to the edge of the pool. Now, last para of this page 25. It seemed a long way down. Those 9 feet were more like 90, and before I touched bottom my lungs were ready to burst. But when my feet hit bottom, I summoned all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upwards. I imagined I would bob to the surface like a cock. Instead, I came up slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge to it. I grew panicky. I reached up as if to grab a rope, and my hands clutched only at water. I was suffocating. I tried to yell, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. Now in this para, there are some difficult words. First word is summoned. First word is this word is in this para in line number 3. Summoned. Summoned means gathered. Spring means SPR, and spring means push. And there is another word that is bob. Bob means jump. Tinge means touch of color. Suffocating means unable to breathe due to lack of air. Yell means scream. Let me repeat the meaning of these words again. Summoner means gathered. Spring means push. Bob means jump. Tinge means touch of color. Suffocating means unable to breathe due to lack of air. Yell means scream. Now in this para, the writer says that William took a long time to reach the bottom of the pool. William took a long time to reach the bottom of the pool. It seemed that Depth was 90 feet instead of 9 feet. Depth was 90 feet instead of 9 feet. He could not hold his breath and felt as if his lungs would burst. When his feet touched the bottom of the pool, he gathered all his strength and jumped upwards. He had thought that the next moment he would come out of the pool, but the opposite happened. His movement upwards was slow, and when he opened his eyes, he saw water all around, which was yellowish in color. William got scared and tried to grab something, a rope which would help him reach the edge of the pool, but he got nothing other than the water. William was at a loss of breath and tried to scream for help, but no sound came out of his mouth. His nose and eyes came out of the water, but his mouth remained in it. Now, next para, page 26. I failed at the surface of the water. I failed, not failed, it is I failed at the surface of the water, swallowed and choked. I tried to bring my legs up. I tried to bring my legs up, but they hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, but only the water heard me. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. Here are some difficult words. The meaning of these words is flailed. Flailed means waved his hand. Flailed means waves his hands. Flailed means waves his hands. Choked. Choked means unable to breathe. Rigid means hard. Rigid means hard. In these lines, it says that William waved his hands at the surface of the water for help, but he swallowed water and choked himself. He tried to pull his legs up, but they were very heavy and lifeless. He felt that something was pulling him towards the depth of the pool. He screamed, but his voice did not go out of the water. Once again, William started going down towards the bottom of the pool. Now, next para, I struck at the water and I went down. I struck at the water and I went down, expending my strength as one. Expending my strength as one in a nightmare fights and irresistible force. A nightmare fights and irresistible force. I had lost my breath, my lungs ached, my head throbbed, I was getting dizzy, but I remembered the strategy. I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. I would lie flat on the water, strike out with my arms, and thrash with my legs. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. Now, there are words in this pair are difficult words. Let me tell you the meaning of these words. First word is expanding. Expanding means losing, giving out. Expanding means losing, giving out. Acted means spent. Throbbed. Now there is another word that is throbbed. Throbbed means felt pain in a series of beats. Dizzy. Dizzy means faint, unsteady. Dizzy. Dizzy means faint, unsteady. Strategy means plan of action. Strike out means extend. Thrash means hit with force. In this para, William tried to save himself from the drowning in the pool and tried to grab something, but as there was water all around, he could not do so. He compares his situation to a person who sees a nightmare and fights against the dreadful dream, but it is unable to ward it off. William was breathless. He felt pain in his lungs, and his head felt a sensation of beating. He was getting unconsciousness. He was getting unconsciousness, but the but he could not recollect the plan to save himself. But he could not recollect the plan to save himself. As his feet touched the bottom, he would take a leap and jump up to the surface in a jiffy. Then he would lie on his back, hit the strokes with his limbs, and reach to the edge of the pool, to the edge of the pool to safety. Now another para. I went down. I went down, and Leslie, I opened my eyes. Nothing but water with a yellow glow, dark water that one could not see through. And then sheer, stark terror seized me, terror that knows no understanding, terror that knows no control, terror that no one can understand who was not experienced it. I was shrieking under the water. I was paralyzed under the water, stiff, rigid with fear. Even the screams in my throat were frozen. Only my heart and the pounding in my head said that I was still alive. In this para, there are some difficult words. Stark means severe. Seized. Stark means severe. Seized means grip it. Shrieking means screaming. Shrieking means screaming. Paralyzed means incapable of movement. Pounding. Pounding means repeated beating. Dear students, in these lines, writer Williams says that William sank into the pool, and the journey downward seemed endless. He opened his eyes. There was water all around. It had a yellowish glow, and he could not see through it. This terrorized William. He says that his feelings cannot be explained, but it can only be understood by those who have experienced a similar situation. He was screaming in the water. He was unable to move due to the fear. His screams also froze. Only his heart beat, and the beating in his head indicated that he was alive. Another para. And then in the midst of the terror came a touch of reason. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. At last I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I had. It is There are difficult words, meaning in the midst of means in the midst of means between. In these lines, the writer says that in between the phase of terror, William recollected the plan that he had to take a jump as he touched the bottom of the pool. As he felt the tiles of the bottom of the pool, his feet used all the strength he had, and he jumped up. Now the last para, page 26. But the jump made no difference. The water was still around me. I looked for the ropes, ladders, water wings, nothing but water. A mass of yellow water held me stark. Terror took a took an even deeper hold on me like a great charge of electricity. I shook and trembled with fright. My arms would not move, my legs would not move. Tried to call for help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. Now the explanation of this para is that the effort went in vain. He was still submerged in the water. He looked around for help, for any rope, ladder, or water wing with the help of which he could he could rescue himself. He could only see water all around him. It was as if a chunk of yellow water had grabbed him. The terror grew intense. It was like an electric shock that ran through the whole body. He trembled with the fight. He trembled with fright. He could neither move his limbs nor call out for help. Thank you very much.